Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So unless you've been living under a rock, you no doubt have heard about movements to have a 4-day work week, right? And some of you guys may have had a 4-day work week this week because it was Columbus Day. We didn't get Columbus Day off, but some people do. And so we have one coming up on Veterans Day. But I noticed something interesting, and I think I was 10 years old when I noticed this. I only liked the 4-day week because it came with a 3-day weekend. I actually didn't like the 4-day school week all that much when I was 10 years old. It took a lot of energy to energize myself for the week. And then on Thursday, when we took off, it's like, God, I could still come to school for one more day. I mean, I love the long weekend, don't get me wrong. I was 10 years old. And I quickly realized, why can't we have both? Why not? So here's what I propose. I call it Ice Day because the days of the week are named after the planets, believe it or not. Sunday, I believe, is named after the sun. Saturday is named after Saturn. Monday is named after the moon. I can't remember the other ones. I believe Friday is named after Mars, but you get the idea. We don't have one named after Uranus or Neptune because they were discovered after the days of the week have been established, and those are the ice giants, right? The other possibility is we don't have a day of the week named after the Earth too, because the Earth wasn't recognized as a planet until much later. So we could have a Terra Day, right? And it would make us think about the Earth a little bit more, at least once a week, right? Maybe it could be a religious holiday for people who believe the Earth is flat, right, or something like that, right? Well, you get the idea, right? Why can't we do? Look at the month, right? If this were October, we would still have 20 work days. It's not like we lose a heck of a lot of work days, right? And I just think, why not? The other thing I noticed, and this one I noticed when I was in seventh grade. When I was in seventh grade, I used to love to play board games on Yahoo Games. We used to have chess. You could play online against other people from all around the world. Checkers, poker, a number of other games. I wish we still had that. But I used to love to play against this Russian guy who was really good at chess. I believe he had a 1600 rating, and I would stay up all night to play against him. He would show up just before going to work. I think he may have even shown up during his lunch hour or something like that. And so I would stay up all night to play against these Russian guys, and then I would be a wreck. When I was in seventh grade, I came up with this idea of only sleeping every other night. So every other night I would sleep for like 12, 13 hours, and then the next night I would stay up all night. And it worked really great, except that the week had 7 days. There was one particular night where I couldn't do this. And because the week had 7 days, it interrupted with the flow of every other day. And it made me curse the fact that the week had 7 days. I was only 12 years old when I discovered this curse. And so it made me rethink the idea of having an 8-day week, right? Even if I had to work 6 days a week, the 8-day week would still be good in the regard that the every other night thing would work, right? So now that I'm all grown up, I still love the every other night schedule. I don't completely stay up all night the nights I stay up, but I would prefer if I could have a high low kind of sleep cycle. And the reason for that is when I'm slightly sleep deprived, I feel so good. Obviously, I can only do it every other day, right? And the 7-day week kind of makes it hard to do anything like that every other day, right? The other thing is you could do intermittent fasting every other day if the week were an even number, right? And even if I had to work 6 days, I think I would still prefer the 8-day week, just for that one benefit of being able to do the intermittent fasting and the sleep deprivation, right? Anyway, something to chew on, right? You could still have a 3-day weekend. You could still have a 5-day work week. They're not mutually exclusive subject. You know what I might start doing? I might start creating such a calendar and kind of publishing it somewhere, and start announcing it. Today is blah, right? With different names. I won't use the Saturday, Sunday, and other names of the week because it would be confusing. I'll have to come up with 8 brand new names to describe days, and then I could start publishing. Today is Ice Day, September, whatever, right? I got it. And the other thing, some other things I want to adjust to the calendar, by the way. I don't believe in the 24-hour day. I sleep really well when I can sleep on my own timetable. It's not going to be every 24 hours, obviously. But during the pandemic, I slept really well, in large part because I didn't follow the 24-hour clock. I would sleep at, let's say I slept at 10 p.m. tonight, and then tomorrow I woke up at whatever time. The next night, I would tend to sleep at 11:30 if I didn't have a schedule to follow. And I would sleep beautifully if I did that. Usually I would crash right away. I would have plenty of time during the day, right? Because now my days just got extended an hour and a half. Put it this way, if I got a job as a pilot, I would look for a schedule that allowed me to fly like one time zone west every day, right? So if I started my job in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the next day I might fly to Dallas, Texas, right? Or at least end the day there, right? Maybe I'll do some other flights, but end the day in Dallas. And then the following day, I might end the day in Phoenix, right? And so on and so forth. Right? I would feel so good if I had a schedule that looked like that. I really would. I really would. Or if I became an astronaut, I might work on a planet that had a day that was a little bit longer, right? On the moon, technically the moon has a 29 day, but if you were in communication with the Earth from the moon, you would see the Earth rotate every 24 hours and 50 minutes. On Mars, the day is 24 hours and 40 minutes. And so those would be the best things for me in terms of scheduling. On Jupiter, the day is 9 hours. But you know what? I could just sleep every third day over there. I would probably feel okay doing that as well. So I would change the length of the day to 24 hours and 50 minutes. I would change the length of the week to 8 days. I'd shorten the year because a lot of people make New Year's resolutions and then they break them. I want people to reflect on their lives a little bit more. Maybe not once a month, but at least multiple times per Earth year, right? If we had more of those days, we need a few more Christmases and Thanksgivings and stuff like that too, right? And also, I thought about this early on in my life as well. I think I was in 8th grade when I thought about this. I thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice to have a Christmas in the summertime or a 4th of July when there's a snowstorm? It's just too monotonous, right? And so I propose the year be 138.376 days. I sometimes call that the universal year or the Curry year. And the reason for that is it's the half-life of polonium-210. And I think polonium-210 is something that if we were to find life on another planet, they and I and us can agree that would be a good length of time to use in our calendars. It's the lightest naturally occurring isotope that has an alpha decay half-life. That is in a reasonable time frame, not eons and eons or really short, right? But just right for measuring length of time, right? And so I think 138.376 days. Polonium is going to be very instrumental when we finally leave the planet, I believe. And so the year would be 138.376 current Earth days, right? Because I'm changing the day as well. The mental clock day, let's put it that way, should be 24 hours and 50 minutes, right? The week would be 8 of those days, right? Because then we would have a 3-day weekend, or even just a 2-day weekend is fine, right? I would change. Let's see. I think that would be some of the units I would change. I guess we could call. Let's see what other. I like universal metrics, right? So even the 24-hour, 50-minute day. I mean that's a little bit more universal than the 24 hours, right? Because that includes both the Earth and the Moon, right? So I like that cycle a little bit better than 24 hours, actually. But I really love the year being 138.376 days because everybody in the universe will agree to that, right? The 2450, only people within the Earth-Moon system, right? The bigger I can expand it, the better. And maybe the week should be defined as something else, right? The week could be, I'm thinking maybe one of the orbital periods of one of the moons of Jupiter and Saturn would probably be better, right? But even then, we're still limited to the people here on the solar system, right? All right, or we could probably look up some other nuclear half-lives. I can't find another one that beautifully measures time like that naturally occurring, and it has a length of time that's within human reason. I guess the only one that comes close is the Lead 210, which has a half-life of 22. That could be like a decade, right? I guess there is the other ones are either too long or too short, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.